Okay, so what if there was a philosophy that was designed not for some magical, mystical world, but for the one we're actually living in? A system built on what we can actually see and prove, not just on faith. That's what we're talking about today. Think of it as an operating manual for reality itself.
This really is the big question, isn't it? If there's no grand cosmic plan handed to us from on high, are we just kinda lost? Just floating around without a point? This whole philosophy was basically built from the ground up to tackle that very problem.
And the answer it gives is pretty radical. It says that purpose isn't something you go out and find. It's not something you receive from an outside source. It's immanent, meaning it's already here, emerging from the very fabric of the system that we are all a part of.
So that feeling of awe, of reverence, if it doesn't come from God's, where does it come from? Well, this framework argues that the source is the universe itself. The sheer mind-boggling, verifiable complexity of it all is more than enough to inspire that feeling.
And this isn't some vague, fuzzy idea. This awe is grounded in real stuff. I mean, just think about the scale of it all. The fact that you, a conscious being, emerged from cosmic dust over billions of years. Or the incredible efficiency, the elegant logic you see in physics and evolution. Heck, your very next breath depends on a transaction with the entire planet's ecosystem. That's real. That's all you could actually verify.
Now, to really understand our place in all this, the philosophy gives us this incredibly powerful analogy. It's a game changer for how you think about yourself.
And here it is. For so long, we've had this idea that we're like these little isolated islands, right? Just fighting against the chaotic ocean of the world. But what if that's completely backward? What if you're not an island in the ocean? What if you are the ocean, just temporarily taking the shape of a wave?
This ocean actually has a name. It's called a complex adaptive system, or CAS for short. And that's what reality is. It's this one, single, continuous, self-organizing flow of everything. It's not a person, it's not a god, it's a process. And you and I, we're a direct expression of that process.
This idea is often called anatta, or non-self, and it's just this simple, verifiable fact that there's no solid, permanent you in there somewhere. Your sense of self is more like a verb than a noun. It's a constant process, an exchange with the world. And realizing this is, well, it's incredibly freeing. It means you're not some fragile thing you have to defend all the time. You're a resilient process, always adapting.
Okay, so if we're all just part of this perfect flowing system, then why does life hurt so much? Why do we suffer? Well, this philosophy pins the blame for pretty much all of our pain on one single fundamental mistake we all make.
And the mistake is this. We confuse our map for the actual territory. The territory is what is. It's raw, unfiltered, objective reality. The map, on the other hand, is your idea about reality. All your beliefs, your predictions, your stories. We spend all our time looking at our maps, and then we're totally shocked when we walk into a wall that wasn't on it. And that crash, that feeling of suffering, the Buddhists call it dukkha. It's not a punishment. It's not a moral flaw. It's just a prediction error. It's a biological alarm bell that's screaming at you, hey, your map is wrong. The model you're using to get around is broken. And this is the key. Suffering isn't something to be ashamed of. It's data. It's useful information.
So when that alarm bell starts ringing, we've got two basic choices. We can hit the escape clause button, blame fate, pray for things to change, basically hand over responsibility to someone or something else. Or we can practice what's called radical responsibility. We can treat the suffering as data, figure out why our map was wrong, update the map, and then take smart, skillful action.
And this right here brings us to the ethical heart of the whole system. If our job is to fix our maps and act skillfully, how does that lead to a life of purpose? It's all about finding that purpose in what we contribute.
So purpose is basically powered by a dual engine. On one side, you've got the great yes. This is that deep, calm acceptance that you're a wave in the ocean. That brings you internal peace. But on the other side, you've got the great action. And that's the mission to use that inner peace to go out and skillfully fix errors and reduce suffering in the world. It's this perfect balance between just being and actively doing.
This vow just sums it up perfectly, doesn't it? My peace is my acceptance of the flow, and my purpose is my contribution to its evolution. Peace comes from seeing reality clearly and accepting it. Purpose comes from making it better. It's a really powerful, engaged way to live.
All right, this leads us to the final and maybe the most profound piece of the puzzle. What about legacy? What about death? This philosophy offers a kind of immortality that needs absolutely zero magic.
Now get this isn't just poetry, it's a direct consequence of physics. In the most literal sense, every single thing you do creates a ripple. It creates a pattern of cause and effect. And that information, that pattern, it doesn't just vanish. It becomes a permanent part of the universe's ongoing story.
So your immortality isn't the survival of your personality or your ego, it's the survival of your impact. The problems you solve, the kindness you offer, the errors you fix, those patterns of information keep rippling out, improving the system long after your individual wave has returned to the ocean.
I mean, just think about that for a second. Your entire life is an eternal broadcast. Every moment is permanently recorded. This implies a kind of ultimate accountability, doesn't it? The universe itself is keeping score, and your functional contribution, the positive impact you have, is the only part of you that actually lasts forever.
So if you really take this framework to heart, the conclusion is, well, it's both a little terrifying and incredibly empowering. There's no one else coming to save the day. The system, the universe, has produced its most advanced tool for fixing itself and creating new things, you. So the only question left, the only one that really matters is, what error will you fix?